The media world is incredibly diverse and extremely competitive. It's a very popular career path for many people. Why? Because, well, it's just fantastic, stimulating and interesting. I started a long time ago, so I want to find out today how you get to be successful in the media. I'm going to be speaking to Pearl Tsotetsi, and I can see why they call you the blonde bombshell.
It's right here.
Yeah. How do you become successful today in the media world?
Geez, I think you have to have a spine of steel. Probably the same as you needed to for the past 100 years. You have to work hard, and you have to be really passionate about it. If you're looking for glamour, if you're looking for sexiness, you're not going to find it. Especially even if you're doing entertainment or lifestyle, like, you know, the glamour's just the icing. Everything else is just hard.
But that's such a good point. I think that's what entices people. They think it's glamorous. And,
Absolutely.
you know, often in TV, how many hours you sit waiting, lugging heavy material, waiting and waiting.
Exactly. And also, you know, if, specifically speaking as somebody who's worked in lifestyle for a couple of years, I think people think, oh, you get to go to nice parties, and after a while nice parties are not so nice. They start to feel like work. So you have to just realize that you are working, and you still have to do a lot of research, and it's still journalism no matter what people say. Maybe more fun than other segments, but it's still journalism.
Tell us about your trajectory. I mean, you've been nominated as one of 200 top South Africans by the Mail and Guardian. You've written a blog, you know a lot about pop culture. Tell us more about all of that.
So I joined the company where I am now as an intern. I was on their training program, and that was a very important way for me to get into the industry, because if it wasn't for that program, to be honest, I don't know how I would have gotten into journalism.
How do you become an intern?
Well, look around, apply, bother people, you know, because now internship programs aren't really running that much because people don't have money. So you just have to annoy people, call them, email them, visit them, show up, hopefully just don't get a restraining order against you, don't get kicked out. But if you really want to do it, you have to still keep trying to kick doors down, because there are a lot of doors that are closed. And hopefully you'll find somebody who can help you open, or who can maybe just give you a little, you know, into the industry. And I was an intern, and then I worked across different parts of media. I worked in broadcast very briefly. Eventually got into print. So I started off at Times Live when it was a breaking news website, and I was a bit of a reporter, a bit of a sub-editor. You got to do things you don't want to do sometimes to get to where you want to go. And I've always wanted to do features and lifestyle, and eventually after about 2 years, which was very quick, I got to join the features team of a newspaper that no longer exists. And then I moved into a website. That's how I got into the Mail and Guardian top 200 South Africans list. There was a pop culture website we had called Daily Planet. It was around for 11 months, and I think the key to that was me just saying yes to things. And I think if you learn to say yes, even if you're unsure, if it doesn't work, go against your ethics, your beliefs, or your values, then you should, I really think, say yes to things. And I think
and that's pushing yourself, isn't it? Your own internal envelope.
Always. And I think that's what's helped me succeed, to be honest, where I'm completely unsure. I'm like, oh, I don't know if maybe I'm underqualified, maybe I'm not prepared, but I'm like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll give it a go. And I think that's the attitude you need to have, that nothing is permanent. So you can give something a try, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You move on to something else.
And tell us a bit more about your blog and how important social media is in getting ahead in the world of journalism and media.
Well, I no longer blog simply because I didn't have the time to do it anymore. But social media, I have a really mixed relationship with it. So there have been times where I've wondered if it does impact your career as a journalist or not. But I think it's important for visibility, because that seems to be one of the key things that people measure you against now. Even people in the industry who can give you jobs or whatever, they're like, okay, let's look at this person's social media. Not necessarily just to get stories, but I suppose it's really great where, you know, you don't have to do vox pops anymore, I think. Back in, you know,
I hate vox pops.
The worst, you know, you don't have to like go to the streets and stop people outside a coffee shop. Absolutely.
And tell me, so social media is important, and how important is education, like something after school, to become a good journalist?
You know, I think it's very important to have some sort of qualification, but I don't think you need to be qualified in journalism to work in journalism. If anything, I don't think it's a very good idea to qualify in journalism anymore, simply because You can't go that many places with only a journalism degree, whereas, there's so many people who work in newsrooms who didn't study journalism, and I think you learn more in the newsroom than you do at school, to be honest. If you want to become a journalist in 2019 in South Africa, you have to be flexible and realize that change is your friend. You have to have a spine of steel, so you really have to be strong. Even if you're not, just pretend. Fake it till you make it. And you need to be open to different experiences and open to learning. That's incredibly important. I think one of the things that stagnates journalists and journalism is if you just stick to your viewpoint and this is what you know, this is what it is, and that's unrealistic. So if you just open yourself up to new experiences, to learning, and stay true to yourself. I know it's cheesy, but that's super important.